Lingerie stockings. Oh, now Marine feels bad. Now she feels guilty. Please ask for help. Please open up to other people. Because by doing that, we are giving other people a permission to also come into our lives. Because remember, reciprocity. Back and forth. Back and forth. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated licensed psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. Welcome to my detailed psychological analysis of My Dress Up Darling episode 4. As you guys saw, the beginning of last week's episode threw me off a little bit, but here we are. Athathanation Zero, Vinny, Foxholes Gaming, Tirtanas, Wuxiang, Samsonian, Fidelis, Helix, and Mina K-Mei are the sponsored tier highlights of today's video. I appreciate your support. Remember, you matter, you are worthy, and we have to accept ourselves first and foremost. Sit back, and I hope you enjoy. Oh yeah, Gojo literally just found out that the first cosplay event is in mere 2 weeks. The amount of workload that lies ahead of him is tremendous. Let's see how he overcomes this challenge. And I'm also looking forward to how clickbaity every title is. Exactly. Yikes.
あんなに楽しみにしている北川さんを失望させてしまう。とにかく帰って。
He has no idea. There's no reference point.
まっすぐに切れるところばかりじゃないし。頭が変になる。若菜は忘れ出していた。
Slipper Girl started to violate Gojo. Not sexually, like sex slavery mastery type of domineering violation, but emotionally is violating him out of that stress. And what Gojo is experiencing right now is the typical perfect, textbook perfect portrayal of overthinking. Definition right here. And one thing that I always loved, my wife tells me this sometimes, my mentor has taught me this before, because I'm a thinker, I'm very cognitive in my head. My wife and my mentors always told me, hey, Benoit, you cannot think through overthinking. I'll say that again. We cannot think through overthinking. What does that mean? When we're already overthinking, when our brains are already in this anxious, hyperdrive, overloading capacity, how is thinking more about whatever we are stressed and overthinking about gonna help us? Trick question. It will not. It never helps. That's what it means. When we're already in this overthinking state, the best thing to do is not to think more. It's actually the opposite. Write things down, journal, maybe record with your voice memo. Maybe take a break. Take a break and disengage from whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're stressed about, whatever you're overthinking about, and then come back maybe in an hour or two with a fresh perspective. Blank canvas state to derive new perspective, new insights. But when we're overthinking and when we're stressed, I encourage to not think more, but rather write things down. Break things down. If you can accomplish one thing for the next hour, what would it be? If you can accomplish 3 things by the end of the day, whether it's making the cosplay outfit, Hinadol's, projects, exam, whatever it be, what would that be? We call that prioritization. Prioritizing and blocking out time. Episode 4 is called Are These Your Girlfriends?
ただいま。
おかえり。今日は
友達とちょっと買い物行ってて。
友達と。そっかそっか。で何買ってきたんだ。シリか。
Lingerie stockings. Yo. This is too much for Gramps. Gramps already had to digest and process the information that his grandson is now jerking off to porn, although that was a misconception, but still, per the grandpa's perspective, since as I talk about a lot in all my series, Our perception is not reality. Our perceptions are often distorted and influenced by our feelings, mood, misinformations, our biases, whatever information that we have access to at that time. Whereas reality is reality. So perception is not reality. So Graham's perception, although missed perception, is that the grandson is coming of age, sexual hormones and all that. And now he went shopping with a friend and brought home lingerie stockings. So that was just too much for the poor Gramps' heart. And I think he tumbled backwards and fell. What a culture shock.
みおり姉ちゃん、ごめん、わざわざ。
Who this?
痛み止め出しておきますので。
お大事になさってください。
So who's
2
this?
週間安静なんでしょ。お父さんたちが治るまでうちにいてもらおうって、それで迎えに来たのよ。
Okay, so
な
cousin?
ら車も出せるから。
そっか、世話かけるな。
わっちゃんも今日はうちに泊まってね。布団用意してるから。
うん。明日着替えとか持ってくるよ。
あ、すまんな。あと筆持ってきてくれ。
That dedication. Wow. Dude, the Gramps is gonna work on his brushes and henna dolls while he's injured and recovering. I see where Gojo got his responsibility, his accountability, and his dedication for the craftsmanship. Oh, I see where that's coming from. It's the lineage from his grandpa, obviously.
そっか。だから昨日休んでたんだ。
はい。今日もいとこの家に様子見に行ってきます。
ね。
はい。
Also, this is a very serious and very, I guess, sombering situation. But don't forget the actual incidents and the cause for this hospital situation. The freaking cosplay stockings that fell out of the shopping bag. Not to make light of the situation, but it's so comical that the irony of the scene is unbelievable. All of this from stockings. Poor Gramps.
五条くん、手伝えることあったら何でも言ってよ。一応私料理とかできたりするし。
北川さん、ありがとうございます。でも大丈夫なので。
そっか。
Aww.
連絡先交換しよう。なんかあった時やり取りできた方がいいじゃん。
はい。
The music is so sombering. I know I'm yapping extra much today. I want to make another PSA, and this is very, very important. We just saw a Marine asking Gojo about, hey, is everything okay? Please do not hesitate to reach out. I can cook yori, which is in Japanese, but also Korean. Yori means cook. She was offering her support. She was offering lifeline, cooking, anything in between. Of course, Gojo politely, out of politeness, he said no. But I do want to talk about that because a lot of people in a helping profession like myself, a lot of helpers are ironically bad at asking for help. A lot of people who become helpers, either a nurse, doctors, psychotherapists, anything in between, first responders, firefighters, a lot of people who join the helping profession, paradoxically and ironically, are people who are good at helping other people, but not good at asking for help themselves. Let that sink in. As helpers, how are we going to help other people if we ourselves are bad at asking for help? And here's another deeper thing. By us never reaching out for help, never venting, never opening up to other people. For us who are hyper independent, who learn to be too overly self-sufficient out of cultural norms, capitalism, whatever society says about men and women, it doesn't matter. People like us, we're actually being selfish in a way. And this is very deep and complicated, but I'm going to keep it kind of short. So let me know if you guys have any questions. On the surface, many of us, we refuse to ask for help, refuse to shift our burden of stress from ourselves onto other people out of consideration. out of kindness. It's like, oh no, I'd rather burden my stress all by myself. I don't want to shift my burden onto other people. That's the thought process for a lot of folks, which is great. But if you really dig deep into it, people who do not ask for help, they're actually afraid of rejections deep inside. Fundamentally, it's a fear of rejection. It's a fear of what if they don't care about us? What if I ask, but they say no? That means they don't like me. That means they don't love me. That means they don't care about me. So let me just be really safe by trying to be independent, even in a toxic way. Let me try to work through everything by myself because of, again, the deep-seated fear of rejection and hurt at the end of the day, because of trauma experiences. But another perspective looking at it is by us never allowing people to help us, by us never relying on other people, we're also being selfish because we are also disallowing other people to reach out to us. We're also disallowing other people to rely on us. Think about it. If we only help other people, we're only giving, but we're never asking, we're never receiving, other people are going to feel burdened and they don't want to do that to us either. So what happens over time? The people that we never reach out for help because we want to be considerate, we want to be thoughtful, but then we never create this social reciprocity, definition right here. Reciprocal relationship. We're always giving, but we're never receiving. Because any healthy relationship is give and receive. Give and receive. Full stop. Romantically, interpersonally, maritally, it's all about give and receive. Because that's reciprocity. Does that make sense? So by Gojo saying no, to bring this all back to my prolonged yapping, for Gojo to say no to Marine's offer, and by Gojo closing off and shutting down rather than opening up honestly to Marine, sure, he's being polite, probably out of his insecurities, everything we've been talking about. But the deeper level is he is disallowing Marine an opportunity to get closer to him by helping him, by opening up about him, by learning more about Gojo's life and his background story. And in turn, over time, Marine also has the permission to open up and reach out to Gojo for help. But that permission has to be given by opening up and asking for help first. It sounds very counterintuitive, but I hope that makes sense. That was my best attempt to turn a freaking 20-minute video essay and therapy session into like a 5-minute segment. So that was my best attempt. I hope that makes sense. So to close out, please ask for help. Please open up to other people. Because by doing that, we are giving other people a permission to also come into our lives. Because remember, reciprocity, back and forth, back and forth.
カットしたウィッグとか持ってきてるから後で渡すね。五条くん？
すみません。
あ、もう来週中間じゃん。
Dang!
普通にだるいよね。言うて私。
Yo, Gojo has to cram and study and procrastinate for midterms next week because he forgot and he has to do the delivery for a cosplay outfit. That's a lot of internal pressure. And again, the most ironic thing and the thing that breaks my heart is Gojo has yet to open up about his stress, about the deliverable, the timing, the 2-week deadline. Because maybe Marine is not expecting to go to the first event in 2 weeks. Maybe she's aiming for the next one, maybe in a couple months, in a few months, because she knows how long it takes. So Gojo, in a way, is suffering all by himself, all alone, with his own overthinking, because he never opened up and communicated with Marine. So all of this, in a way, is self-inflicted stress. All he had to do is speak up and talk to Marine one-on-one, right?
テストもあったんだ。じいちゃんの見舞い
Jeez, that's a lot of
テスト勉
classes.
強の間に時間作って衣装を作らなきゃいけないんだ。
大丈夫？
はい。
And because of his overthinking, again, his cognitive overload, he got disconnected from the reality and tuned out and didn't hear a single thing that Marine said. Do you see that? When we're so much in our head, and again, it's not Gojo's fault. There's a lot of anxiety there, a lot of stresses, right? A lot of mental health, distress, and so on. So it's not Gojo's fault. But the fact remains is when we get so caught up in our head, especially a lot of self-inflicted stress, you also miss out so much in life. You miss out on spending mindful, quality time with your friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, parents, and so on. And to be mindful, you have to be present. And to be present, you have to stay out of your head. And to do that, we have to minimize self-inflicted stress. How do we do that? You talk. You have a conversation. You open up. You see my point? You guys see why I spend those 5-6 minutes yapping about that?
すみません
He says sorry a lot.
かなり
Sumimasen?
です工房見学ですか
Oh man, I see. So this entire episode is obviously titled "Are These Your Girlfriends?" Obviously, that's Gramps falling back because of seeing those those risque stockings right from his shopping bag, and because Grandpa's out recovering, he has to take over the Hinado shop. There's a tour happening. He has midterms next week. A cosplay deadline is in 2 weeks. It reminds me of a quote: "When it rains, it pours." So that's what's happening metaphorically in Gojo's life. And hopefully by the end of this episode, Gojo learns to open up and be a little bit more forthcoming with his emotions and maybe learns to be vulnerable. But learning to be vulnerable with someone that you're close with, let alone someone you just got close, aka Marine, requires a lot about emotional comfort, a lot of psychological safety. But I think their relationship is too new. And Gojo has a lot of trauma, especially that childhood trauma of rejection. So I think it's going to take him a little while to warm up to Marine and maybe be able to open up emotionally. But I hope that happens for Gojo. Because trying to do this thing life, this massive obstacle and challenge and a journey that we call life, all by ourselves is too lonely and impossible. To close off that, let me sign off by saying, although obviously I'm going to keep yapping after the fact, life is a team sport. Let's not try to play this team sport of life by ourselves. Let's rely on our teammates.
いつ頃ご希望でしょうか
明日ってお願いできませんか
明日ですか
Bro, 24 hour heads up?
あ、そうなんですね。実は友人はフランスから旅行に来てて。
Yo, of course. They're visiting from out of country. Oh.
ありがとうございました。
大丈夫です明日僕でよろしければ
Okay, so another key theme of this episode is actually spotlighting how much of a people pleaser Gojo is and how his inability to say no. There's only one outcome, inevitable, dooming outcome for people pleasers. Because like I said, I am a recovering people pleaser as a Korean man and as the eldest son of the family. I was taught to be a people pleaser, to provide for everyone else, to be selfless. But it comes at a cost. So the inevitable dooming outcome for people pleasers is burnt out, disappointment, resentment, bitterness. And you end up cutting everyone off because you're so burnt out from life, from giving, overextending. So I could tell that's the theme of this episode.
ありがとうございます。
People pleasing, it's tough.
はい
It's a tough one.
では明日お待ちしております
It's gonna be super burnt out,
どうしよう
mountaining stress.
どうしようどうしようどうしようどうしよう
Called it. He's overwhelmed. Cognitive overload. Oh, it's a lot of work, man. Oh, man. Look at what Gojo's doing. He's visiting his auntie's place or his cousin's place for grandpa, checking on grandpa. He's mending and operating the Hinado store all by himself because grandma's doing bed rest recovery. He's cramming and studying for midterms, which is next week. And he's designing, creating, sewing an entire cosplay full-size outfit from scratch. And he did a tour. And I'm sure he's cleaning up after himself, cleaning the house and all that. He's doing all of that by himself. Whereas what he could have done better, which is healthier, is say no to the visitor because 24-hour visit heads up is too short. Especially if you were going to go back to France You called me the day before? That's on the friend's fault. That's not your responsibility. So say no to the tour because too short of a notice. Prioritize his midterms because school and grades matter, right? Speak up to his grandpa and maybe even auntie or cousin and ask for some support. And talk to Marine about his overwhelm, his stress about the deadline of 2 weeks. Just to clarify, hey, is that the event you're going for? Could we get some more room? And so on. But he didn't do any of that. So what happens? He's going to get crushed by all this mounting stress, overthinking, responsibility. Yep. And he is feeling rushed for a time. So you see that he's stabbing himself. He's making more injuries. There's a famous saying in the military, since I did 6 years in the US Army, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. It's like the same saying, measure twice, cut once. Rather than trying to rush, feeling out urgent, you're prone to more mistakes and ended up you're going to become slow, trying to be fast. But slowing down and trying to be smooth, that smoothness is actually fast in reality. So it's a very famous military saying, trying to teach us to be thoughtful, slow down, think about every situation before we engage tactfully and so on. It's the same thing. But again, because of the mounting pressure for Gojo, he's rushing everything and he's already making mistakes and hurting himself. The joy of finishing midterms. He's probably at grandpa's. And because of lack of communication from Gojo, Marine has no idea what's happening. And remember, this is a new friendship. It's a new relationship. And with anything new, you have to water the soil, water the plants. Obviously, it's a metaphor to blossom and to grow those relationships by deepening them. Any new friendships or otherwise need effort. But because Gojo is so burnt out and urgent and rushed from his self-inflicted stress, because he's not opening up to anyone about what he's going through, Marine is left confused and lost about what is going on. Why is he being cold? Is he avoiding me again? She has no idea. Again, just one conversation could have fixed all that. Again, it's not Gojo's fault. This is a brand new, uncharted, new territory for him, so I understand. But I hope he learns soon. Yeah, people get worried when you don't open up. Gojo, you missed out on eating alone, one-on-one with the Paris, kind of like a mini date with Marine. Come on, bro, man. Dishes are piling up, trash. Oof, it's rough. Yeah, he had no time to amend to any of the house chores. You guys see what I'm saying? Yeah, and look at his dark circles in his eyes. Yep, he's burnt out cognitively. And physically. When you try to do everything and anything, you will fail at the very things you're working on. Because burnout. When you try to do 14 things at once, you're going to drop all 14 things. Versus, again, prioritization. Find what's the most prioritizing and priority of objective. One thing at a time. Just one. One thing at a time. Don't think about the 47 things on your plate. Just focus on one thing at a time. It's so simple, but it is the most effective way of managing your time and managing your task, especially if you have a growing laundry list and a to-do list. And ask for help, of course. Again, all of this is by himself. He has yet to talk to Marine about any of this.
毎日手を動かしてねえと腕がな。
Respect. It's like tennis.
まだまともに使いこなせてないくせに何日触ってないんだ。俺向いてないのかな。どんなに好きだからって向いてるわけじゃない。頑張ったからって報われるなんて限らない。
Oh, deep.
頭師になれなかったらどうしよう。頼りにされた以上なんでこんなにダメなんだろう。
It's exactly what I'm saying, y'all.
全部中途半端で。
Oh, Gojo-kun. Come on, bro, you got this.
毎日作るの大変じゃない？
Good question.
嫌になったりしないの？
そりゃ大変だよ。好きだからってやっていけるもんじゃねえしよ。
Amen. Aw, love of his crafts. Aw, that's cool.
喜んでほしいからしんどくっても頑張れるもんだぞ。
Very Japanese service-oriented mindset. Aw.
いいと思うけど、そういうこだわりとかって大事じゃん。やっぱー、衣装できたらどこでコスしようかな。五条くんがいてくれてマジよかった。サンキュー。
Thank you. I like how it's always in English. Wow. That resilience. Bro, his eyes look rough.
ハサミどこやったっけ。
Oh boy, he's gonna hurt himself. I think he's gonna hurt himself. I hope not. Wow. I mean, respect. That's level of resilience. So I knew there was going to be a very wholesome emotional scene, so I restrained my yapping and it paid off. Grandpa told him exactly what I was going to say. Two things. Level 1, Gojo is right. Just because you love something does not guarantee that you'll become good at it. Sure, he's not wrong. But at the same time, there's no guarantee in life. Full stop. Just because you love something, you work so hard at it, you pour your heart out, blood, sweat, and tears, yes, there is no guarantee that you're going to make it. At the same time, without that love, that passion, that obsession, you will amount to nothing whatsoever anyway. Even if you do something that you're good at, you're not going to be able to do that for a long time. You're going to get burnt out, jaded, midlife crisis. You're going to be miserable, unhappy. That unhappiness is going to spill over to all aspects of your life, going to ruin and impact our relationships. You'll probably get into addiction, substances, alcohol, drugs to numb your pain, numb your suffering because you're lonely, because you're miserable. Of course, I'm not saying that to anyone, particularly watching, but I know because I changed my career 3 times, not a job. I pivoted from my careers 3 times. I went to graduate school twice to seek discomfort, but also seek the path that I know that I love and good at and do it for a long time. So Gojo is right, but he's also wrong. You cannot do anything in life out of guarantee. You have to do it, hopefully, be consistent long enough that you love it, and hopefully you become good at it. That's the hope. But the other path of doing something that you hate just because you're good at it is the ultimate miserable path. You don't want to spend all these years climbing up the mountain, climbing up the building, climbing up the corporate ladder. When you get to the top, you know what's the worst thing? The biggest regret is you realized after all the years, you have climbed up the wrong tree. You have climbed up the wrong ladder. Because time never rewinds. Once you realize you climb up the wrong ladder and the wrong tree and the wrong mountain, you don't like that view, you don't like the thing you spend the last 30, 40 years on, it might be too late. So in that sense, Gojo is not too late, right? So I respect what Gojo is saying. And the last thing I'll say is what Gojo is doing kind of reminds me of two concepts. One is resilience. Obviously, it's an engineering terms, but we say psychological resilience, physical resilience. But the original term is an engineering term. Resilience just means like when you snap a band, like a rubber band, right? What does it do? When you snap it, it snaps back at the original state. That's resilience. It's when a state was compromised and impacted by a shock, by an impact, wherever it is. It's resilience. Resilience means you get back. You revert back to your baseline of where you started. But there's a second concept called anti-fragility. Definition right here. Anti-fragility is a level above resilience. Resilience, you're going back to the original state. Anti-fragility means your baseline increases. So you started off here, went down, it went back. That's resilience. Anti-fragility is one more. It actually increases the capacity, becomes stronger, more strengthened, whatever it is. So Gojo demonstrates some of the anti-fragility perspective. He's not just resilient. He bounced back. He found his motivation. He found his why, power of why. And he decided to pull all-nighter to finish the outfit for Marine. I respect that. At the same time, that's also very toxic Eastern Asian Japanese culture. Do till you die. You know, Japan has one of the highest employment-related burns out, suicide and death across all of the advanced countries. There is literally a job created in Japan to clean up the unclaimed dead bodies of people who are burnt out from work in corporate offices, suicide in hotel rooms, and so on, because of everything I just talked about. Trying to be anti-fragile, trying to be resilient, do whatever it takes. But sometimes that cost of whatever it takes is the very cost of your own life. I'm telling you guys, look this up. This is dark, but this is real shit. There's literally an entire job and career created in Japan to clean up the dead bodies who are unclaimed because they literally worked themselves to death. I don't want that to happen to Gojo. So I hope, yes, I respect his anti-fragility, but close out my yapping. I hope he also finds that balance so he doesn't become another body in a bag, but rather learns to enjoy and embrace this collective team sport of life with other teammates, like his friends, Marine, his grandpa, his cousin, whoever may be. Does that make sense? Damn!
ギリギリでしたけど間に合いました。これでイベントに出られますね。
That's
五
wild.
条くん、もしかして私が今日のイベントに出ると思ったの？
違うんですか？
Bro, this is what I was saying this whole time!
私
This is exactly my
ど
point.
れぐらい時間かかるか分かんなくて、コスプレイベントって探せば結構いつでもやってるし、五条くんが完成させるまで全然待つつもりだったっていう。
Called it, y'all. I knew this was gonna happen.
ごめん。
Gojo.
勘違いさせちゃったよね。
なんだ。よかった。
So he can work on improved outfit.
ずっと不安で余裕あったんですね。
Oh.
ああ、よかった。本当に。
Oh, now Marine feels bad.
北川さん。
Now she feels guilty.
私。五条くんがテスト中毎日すぐ帰ってたの。おじいちゃんのとこ行ってるのかなって思ってて。
Oh.
大変なのに作ってくれてるなんて分かんなくて。ごめん、私全然気づいてあげられなくて。五条くん、ごめんね。ごめん。
Oh. Ah, very wholesome. But it entirely could have been preventable if Gojo did exactly what I said 20 minutes ago, right? Again, I saw the setup. It was pretty. The foreshadowing was quite obvious. And like I said, Marine was shocked. She never expected for the outfit to be done in mere 2 weeks. That is nuts. Even for novices like her, who doesn't know the details and the actual process. But again, Gojo's with his people-pleasing tendency, his sense of responsibility, everything I just talked about, he just trucked it through and made it happen. Again, respect. But that came as such a suffering for Gojo, mentally, emotionally, physically, and also socially. He could have spent that week, 2 weeks, deepening his relationship, his friendship with Marine. But instead of that, he was just stuck inside his mind, struggling and overwhelmed by all of this, the entirety of this self-inflicted stress. You guys see what I'm saying? So, but obviously Marine is such a nice friend, such a nice person. She's crying because she feels horrible about what happened. But Marine, it's not really entirely your fault. Gojo could have also clarified, and you guys could have had a same conversation. But respect to Marine for willing to accept responsibility, because it takes two to dance, right?
何も言わずに進めてしまってすみません。ちゃんと相談するべきでした。
ごめんね。
Oh, this is so wholesome. They're so nice. Oh, I ship them.
その
True? Nice, okay.
と化粧もしてみましょう。
でも、五条くん、疲れてるのに。
That's true. Bro, get some rest. My goodness. Ah, nice guy, but so much suffering.
ありがとう、五条くん。
はい。
ありがとう。めっちゃ着る。本当ありがとう。
I will wear the hell out of it.
はい。止まりました？
もう大丈夫そう。
Dude, they're more intimate than me and my wife, bro. He's doing her hair. He's brushing it. He's helping her with the makeup. He's seeing her in the most intimate outfit of cosplay that he made. Wow. Moving fast.
できました。目の赤に印象を持たせるために口紅は発色を抑えてと
闇メイクって感じだよね。
Sick girl makeup? What?
に伸ばしてから。
What?
なるほど。
Nice, okay.
ぐっと近づけますよ。
私、つけまは持ってないんだけど、一回やって無理だったから。
俺持ってるんで大丈夫です。北川さん？
これ、
今は左がついているものがあるので試しに買ったんです。
Oh, the title is not referring to the grams and the incident in the beginning with the lingerie stockings, but it's Marine asking him, are these your girlfriend's eyelashes? All right, that was unexpected.
今のひな人形は
Wow, that is
口紅
pretty.
の色をピンク
Wow.
やオレンジにしたり
That's cool.
ですが、じいちゃんたちはひな人形の眉を見れば誰が描いたものかわかるそうです。
Whoa,
すごっ。
that mastery. Wow.
俺も将来そんなひな人形作れるようになれたらなって。
Gamate, you got this. We believe in you.
すみません、余計な話を。
なれるよ。
That's what I'm saying. Look at that glow, happiness,
くんなら、絶対なれるよ。
that obsession, that
ありがとう
passion,
ございます。
that dedication. Aww. Is this when Marine falls for him? Is this the start?
そんな
れ
This is the beginning?
舞はどうしますか？北川さんのと形が違うので。
Dang! You know, Marine is dedicated just like Gojo. She's willing to shave her eyelids. This is not even the actual cosplay event. They're just trying it on to make sure there's any other improvements. She shaved off her eyelids. I'm sure they'll grow back, but that is, wow. Now they have this very romantic music on again in the background. Classic. Wow, she looks legit. Wow, debut, first cosplay outfit, Slippery Girl.
五条くん
Wow. Aww.
だよねだよねだよねだよね五条くんすごいマジで鈴子たんすぎない
Aww.
はい。
Aww. I'm sure what to close out, I'm sure what Gojo wanted to say but couldn't say because he's not quite there yet is Marine-san, Kitakawa-san, you're so kawaii desu, or you're so beautiful. Remember in episode 3, we talked about he can only use the word beautiful towards Hinados and very few things because of his love at first sight and the whole backstory he shared. But right now, from his eyes, the blushes of his face, the enlarged glowing of his eyes, seeing Marine's happiness, seeing her in the outfit that he created from scratch. I'm sure he wanted to say, wow, Marine-chan, you're so beautiful desu. But of course he couldn't say that. But I'm sure one day it will. Hey, that's enough yapping for today. Enough said. Hey, smash that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. 1, support me, your favorite yapper. But 2, make sure you don't miss out on the next video with algorithm. And as always, make sure you join our Patreon family and YouTube members for early access and voting power for future series. And remember, guys, self-love, self-acceptance. And yes, being resilient, being anti-fragile is helpful. At the same time, let's learn to open up a little bit more because that's how we give other permissions to come into our lives. And healthy relationship is give and receive. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next week. Peace.